in the effort of being like a Gilbert, like a founding family member, I hand wrote my notes for this episode for some godforsaken reason. So if you want the ramblings of a madman, you can either ask Jeremy Gilbert for his great-great-grandfather's journal, or you can just come peep my notes for this episode, because let me tell you, they make no goddamn sense. One concept throughout these episodes that drives me up a fucking wall, and I love it so goddamn much. But I'll talk about that once I tell you all that this is Afterbite, a Vampire Diaries fan cast that's only 10 years too late. We're just a little late. You know what you're not too late for, though? Entering our giveaway on Twitter. If you go to @AfterBitePod, you can get the info on how to enter there. Do it by leaving us reviews on Apple Podcast. Please, please, please. It helps us out more than you know. More than you could possibly imagine.
I don't know how much I have to beg, but I will beg until there's no begging left. Please do it.
Please.
I actually got one of my one of my dorm mates to follow this podcast. So if I can do that and they can enter the contest, you can leave a review. It's not that hard.
If all of you who listen to this either leave a review or get a friend to listen to our podcast, I will love you all forever.
Exactly. I will love you 10 times more.
Well, you're making some big promises there.
Listen, I got a lot of love to give. Not to certain people, I don't. But to our listeners, I got a lot of love to give to y'all.
Unless one of our listeners is Damon Salvatore, in which case I have some bad news, buddy.
Damon, Damon, if you're listening, I don't know how you're not dead yet. That's it.
That's just it. Hey, the end of last week's episodes that we watched, the end of episode 10, in case you all forgot, that cliffhanger is bonkers.
It's insane. Like, I was
absolutely crazy. And they pick up episode 11 right where episode 10 left off.
You haven't said the name or the little Netflix blurb.
I'm gonna be honest, Jordan. I don't know what the fucking name is. I told you, I hand wrote my notes. They're just the ramblings of a madman.
I will do it for you this time. I will do it for you this time.
How about you? Thank you.
Let me pick up the work a little. Let me.
You can host this one.
let me get the information that we need. Okay.
Because I'm clearly unable to.
I will be the little intro host that we need for this episode. Okay, so this episode's name is episode 11. It's named Bloodlines, and the little Netflix blurbs goes as follows: Damon goes to Georgia to surprise an old flame, Bree, and enlists her help. Meanwhile, Stefan uncovers a startling clue to the past.
So, first of all, what the fuck, Netflix description writer?
That was such a bad one. Honestly, yeah, what the fuck? There's literally a whole plot line with Bonnie, and they're like, let's just ignore that happened at all.
But the boys do these things.
I want to hear more about... No, you know what the worst part is? Bonnie is literally the thumbnail for that episode. So you have Bonnie as a thumbnail, and then you don't even mention her in the description. Why is there so much cognitive dissonance? What the heck is going on?
Also, the funny part too here is that the Bloodlines name, right, relates to Bonnie Bennett.
Exactly.
Hey, y'all, the Bennett witch bloodline is pretty important here. And also the other one that we'll talk about later. But, like, that's a good half of the title there for you.
Like, what are y'all doing? What's going on? Why are you guys so unknowledgeable about the thing you're writing a description for?
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Episode 11, Bloodlines, picks up right where episode 10 left off, which is an absolutely bonkers place to pick up, considering we just watched Elena hit a vampire in the middle of the street and then flip over in a car, and her demise was imminent.
And then they just pick it up, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go." And can I just say, what crappy way to resolve a cliffhanger? That cliffhanger was off the rails. It was bonkers, all right? It was out of this world. And then you just conclude it by him running away.
Yeet, like he's just out of there. And then Damon runs up. Where did Damon come from?
It's like y'all wrote that on the page and then didn't know what was gonna happen next. Like,
you really pressed enter and you were like, "Oh shit, we gotta do something else now, huh?"
Also, when Damon goes and touches, but Damon goes, picks up Elena and then tries to carry her out of the car, and it's like trying to hold her steady. Then he goes up to her and somehow goes for her mouth and like touches her chin and lip a little. And I'm like, Damon, creep again. Like, what are you doing? She's literally like, looks like she's about to pass out.
Mm-hmm.
And your first thought is, oh, let me go grab her face and
let me softly caress your face.
Exactly. Like, what is this? Who directed that? Who decided on that? Because that's unrealistic. I don't know what y'all are up to, but that has to stop. It has to stop right now.
I also really liked, again, as I've mentioned before on this podcast, I watched these episodes with subtitles, and there is a subtitle at one point that just is the word cowering. Hey, Jordan, let me ask you, what do you think cowering sounds like? Because as far as subtitles go, that's a pretty bad one.
Yeah, cowering sounds like exactly. Cowering sounds like absolutely nothing. It's a movement.
Yeah, what does cowering sound like?
It's a movement. It's not a sound. Let's just make this a fact known on this podcast. This is something we all know on this podcast, and we all just have to live with the fact that Netflix, sometimes they're bad at their job.
Hey, Netflix, you did this one bad. You did a bad job here, Netflix.
But guess what? Netflix can get away with it because how old is this show? It's 10 years old. So
yeah, honestly, valid. There's nobody at Netflix. Can you imagine? There's somebody at Netflix who like who's taking notes right now, just aggressively, just like, all right, fuck, I got it. Fuck, we messed up the fucking thing, guys. We have to fix this. Like, no, nobody gives a shit.
Well, you know what? Now I want someone at Netflix to listen to this podcast so they know what they fucking messed up. And then they're like, oh, okay, got it. Revisions. Thanks, you dude. Thanks, my dude. Thanks, my dude.
They just go through with a little red pen, and as soon as, here's the thing though, once they do the revisions, they're not going to do it until like we've done a full until like a full season. So we're only halfway through now. Their red pen of changes to make is only halfway done.
You guys have a lot to work on, and we all know that, but it's okay. We forgive you. This show is 10 years old. But I swear, if I get to the last season of this show and you're still making these mistakes, no more excuses. No more excuses. Because
you're giving them 8 seasons of leeway.
It's no more excuses because the 10 years is up. The jig is up. It's now only a couple years ago. So you gotta...
The jig is up.
So you have 8 seasons and then the jig is up, all right?
After we get Damon rescuing Elena in like a wild twist of fate from her car that has flipped over, we go to Alaric, who gifts us, I think. He kind of just wraps this present up and just gives it to us. The fact that when he killed Logan in the last episode, that was his first ever vampire kill. It was baby's first kill, y'all.
Oh, how sweet. How
baby's first kill.
Proud of you, Alaric. You did a good thing.
Again, you say Alaric. That's not his name. It's Alaric. He did make a very big point of saying that it is Alaric.
Listen, Alaric. I'm going to keep messing it up. Just like how I mess up Stefan's pronunciation of his name. Just like how I mess up Caroline's pronunciation. Listen. If your name...
We don't know how to talk right.
Exactly.
We don't know how to talk.
I don't know how to do English. And your name isn't even English. So... you're just going to have to deal with me messing it up for a while. And you're going to have to be okay with that. Because I have to deal with that every single day. Today, I went to go to get help with my resume. And the lady who I talked to when I first went up to her, when she first came up to me, because, she had to come get me in order to receive me, because I had checked in. She said, I'm looking for Jordan. I said, no, it's just Jordan. So if I have to deal with that on a day-to-day basis of people mispronouncing my name, of people thinking that the extra N in my name is a typo, you're going to have to deal with me mispronouncing your name, all right? That's just how it's going to go.
Jordan? I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh, but...
I was told, she said, oh, is that French spelling of it? And I was like, no. I was like, no, my dad just thought it was more feminine. Sorry. So, that's my existence. That's how I live my life day to day. How do you live your life day to day? Do you constantly have to go to elementary school every single day, and the teacher you've known for 5 years comes up to you and says, Jordan, even though you've told her time and time again, it's Jordan? No,
it's
you don't
just
have to
Jordan.
Deal with that. Then be quiet about how you mispronounce your name, because my name is easy to pronounce, all right?
Yeah, yours is really easy to pronounce. There's a whole fucking car scene with fucking Damon and Elena.
Listen,
Elena at one point.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Damon, what are you doing? You
Damon,
see
what you doing, baby?
You see this girl, you picked her up from her car, and she somehow has fallen asleep, even though she clearly has a concussion. Damon,
clearly.
What's the first thing you think? Oh, maybe I should take her on a road trip. No!
Road trip!
You mean to the hospital? Road trip to the hospital? If we're not going to the hospital after I'm in a car crash and you're like, oh, you don't have any broken bones, you're fine? Excuse me, sir? What?
There are other things in our body that can be broken that are not bones. I don't know if you realize this, but your body is a lot of not bones.
What was the reasoning? What was the reasoning?
Because he's Damon Salvatore and he does what he wants. At one point, Elena says, I'm fine, while she's obviously not fine. And I just want to say that as kind of like a neat little wrap up of the entirety of TVD. Elena will be crying and bleeding and she'll be like, I'm fine. Honey, you're not fine.
And that's
it's okay. It's okay to admit that you're not okay.
You know that new meme on Twitter where it's like, okay, you blah, 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 and you blah, 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 blah.
Do what you need to cope.
Do what you need to do to cope. That's Elena.
So Elena, for some reason, doesn't want to talk to Stefan, which, I get it, you're mad, but also, of the two Salvatores that you're faced with right now, he's still your better option, sweetheart.
And then also, the whole thing of him saying, Elena, listen, and then she's like, snap. She's like, I'm not listening. Wow. Power moves only, baby.
Power move. Oh, honestly, Elena Power Move Gilbert is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, she is powerful. She can be powerful when she wants to.
Stefan enlists Bonnie's help for finding Elena and Damon. Bonnie's pretty much just like, no, actually, I don't want to help you. And then all Stefan says is like, hey, but Damon's being a shithead. And then she's like, all right away, let's go, boy. Let me pencil you in.
And I relate to Bonnie about that on a spiritual level.
She's like, say no more. I will help.
Because whenever Damon is involved, I get it.
Yeah,
automatically.
Say no more. I do realize that we need your assistance.
Yeah. Okay.
when we go see Bree at the bar, Damon's old lover, she is taller than him, and I just kind of love that fact. Yeah. She just could step on me any day of the week, ma'am. Yeah. Get it. Get it, honey. Anyway, your point.
I was just gonna bring up the introduction of Anna.
Oh well. Yeah, she's here too.
Yeah. Melise, is that how you say her name? Melise Zhao? I think that's how you say her name. I think so. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but also you're in every teen show from the 2000 and 2010s. Like I don't remember watching a teen show and not being like, whoa, there's Melise Zhao. Wow. She's just everywhere.
She's just so powerful that way.
Yeah, she is. Like, I'm thinking of like Big Time Rush when she was on there, even though I didn't like her character, but that is what it is. And she was also on this other Nickelodeon TV show. Basically, what I'm saying is, Melise Zhao, wow, welcome. Initially I really liked you, and then by the end of the next episode, I don't like you. But right now, you're cool. We're chilling.
Melise Zhao, please come on to our podcast, because there's a bonkers concept with Anna that I do want to get into later that we are going to dig into. And that's, I guarantee you, going to be the majority of our time, because there's some bonkers podcasts. But Melise Zhao, please come on to our podcast.
If Melise Zhao came onto our podcast, I would freak out. So please come to our podcast.
Please come on to our podcast. All of the witches and magic users we have been introduced to thus far are people of color, and I'm not sure what to say. I have that
on my notes page too. Wow, it's like me and B are connected on like some spiritual level shit, because we be
that spiritual level stuff. Is just Google Docs. That's the spiritual level.
Here's the thing. The thing. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Here's why I don't like it. I feel like they're using it as a crutch, and like, and it's like, Melise Zhao, she's a person of color, so I'm not gonna discount her. She's a vampire. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say all Black people on this show so far have only been witches, and that rubs me the wrong way. It feels like they can only be one thing. They are put into this box, and it's like,
this is our magical box.
Exactly. Can we only play magical, and it's mostly women too, so can we only play magical witches? Is that the only range a Black woman has on this show? And it's kind of concerning. It's very concerning, because I feel like, I don't know what stereotypes it plays into, but I feel like internally, I feel like it plays on some stereotypes of Black women. And like,
yeah, it feels very what's the term I'm looking for here? And I did like want to wait to like pick your brain about this. It feels very I don't want to say like Southern mysticism kind of thing, but it feels like the New Orleans lady who's like a little weird.
That like, so I wrote an entire paper about like Cloak and Dagger, which is a different TV show, and like they're
a much better TV show by just miles and miles and miles.
And I was writing a lot about voodooism, and like how it's different. It's like different in Louisiana versus it being like in Haiti, right?
Yeah.
But I was like writing a lot about the mysticism behind it, and how it's not a magical religion. It's like an actual religion. Like there's no like, a lot of people mistake it with mysticism because it has like a lot of concepts that Western civilizations don't understand necessarily. But it's not magic. It's like it's a practice, it's a tradition, it's a religion. And the conflation of the two, especially because they're in the South, right? In the show,
they're in Virginia. So they're kind of in the thing is, I feel like they kind of play into that Southern voodoo lady stereotype while they're in what is objectively the North. They're in kind of the middle there, right? And they just like play into that. They kind of lean into it in a way that, like, I don't know, even when I was watching it the first time, I was like, this is kind of bad, I think, but I was like, okay, if it's just the Bennett family, that's fine, right? That's a family line, whatever.
Right.
But then now that rewatching it, I'm like, oh, like, it's all black ladies, huh?
Yeah. And it's just like, especially because, and then it's kind of like they're trying to rectify it, I feel like, in some way by making like these black women very powerful, like later on the
which
episode,
like Stan List, love y'all.
Yeah,
you're doing your thing.
Yeah,
right?
like later on the episode, Stefan talks to Bonnie's grandmother, and he talks about in the past, because he's been around for so long, where they've interacted before, and she was like doing some sort of like protest and stuff like that.
Yeah, she was leading like the only sit-in protest within hundreds of miles of Mystic Falls, and I'm like, love that, Sheila Bennett, get it, and, honey.
Like, that's amazing, but also it kind of feels like you're doing that, but also it feels like, why are all these black women just witches? Like, why aren't they more than that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like it can kind of feel annoying in some sense, because I'm like, I know all these vampires, and not all like, not white. Well, Melissa Zhao isn't white, but like the majority of them are white, and it's like all these. I know all these vampires. Like, why are all of them so white? Like, what's going on here?
It's a concept that's gonna get worse before it gets better. I will tell you that, right? Eventually we will be introduced to some male magic users. They'll use the term warlock for like 3 seconds, and then they'll drop it completely in the show, and they'll all just be witches.
That's the correct decision.
Warlock is such a fun term. Anyway, but they'll also be people of color. So it's gonna get worse before it gets better. And I feel like we're gonna keep mentioning it as like a, hey y'all, they're still only black witches, which sounds so bad, but also is very bad. And I feel like as much as we shit on this show for some of their decisions, because like I feel like it's important to bring it up, because it is an issue. And like the show was made 10 years ago and things were very different, but that doesn't mean we still can't like criticize it for the things that they did wrongly. Things weren't that different,
actually,
in the term of what we know is right and wrong.
Well, I will say the state of TV in 2009 is very different from the state of TV that it is right now. So like
that is a very good point.
What I'm basically saying is that, like, I get that, but also that doesn't mean we still can't criticize it right now for the things that they're doing. The question,
and boy howdy will we.
Yeah.
Anyway, Damon's gonna get his ass beat by some witches at some point, and God, I can't wait for that day to come.
I thought he was going to, and I was like, yes, and then it didn't happen. I was like, oh, come on, you guys,
we were close, y'all.
So close.
We just toe closer to the edge every day. I did want to point out that this tomb graveyard set, just something I noticed while watching the episode, was very pretty. I think the prop and set department did a very wonderful job on that, and I did just enjoy it a lot. The way the light was filtering through the leaves and the rubble, I'm like, oh, I love this.
Good job,
literally
guys.
When I was just watching the episode, I just glanced at it and I was like, that's really pretty. And I don't usually have a lot of moments like that. So it was just a nice kind of, just a nice oh yeah, this show, people did some good on this show. It looks real nice.
Yeah, I will say sometimes I feel like the costume department does a great job in the next episode as well.
I feel like some of these departments that don't usually get a shout out, I want to give them a shout out.
Yeah,
so this episode right here, episode 11, is dedicated to the set and prop department. Y'all did a great job on that tomb set. I just really loved it. I just thought it was neat. The lighting department, you also get a little shout out. You did some good placements there.
On this show, we shout out all parts of the what's it called? All parts of the film production set, all the TV production set. We appreciate all of you. We know you guys.
We appreciate the hard work you do. Even if we dunk on it a lot, most of the work we dunk on is the writers and the actors. Yeah. So the rest of y'all are safe.
Y'all are good. Y'all are great.
Behind the scenes people, you're great.
We know you got a job and you just got to do it, you know?
Yeah, if you have a job, you're gonna do it. You might as well do it great. And this time you did do it good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out, bracketing this note that I made about the tomb set being pretty, I have the phrase, Anna, I love you, with 3 exclamation points, and then right under that I have Sheila Bennett, I love you, with 4 exclamation points. So this is just a very good episode for women everywhere.
Yeah,
honestly, a win.
Episode. Another thing I wanted to talk about was, where is it?
What's that?
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna skip ahead a little. Damon gets almost killed by Alexi's boyfriend, right? That's her boyfriend. And then Elena tries to save him. Elena, why?
I think Elena just needed a ride home, in all honesty. I think she was like, shit, if he dies, his car keys are gone. I just need a ride home.
I literally wrote that down. I said, oh, is it because he was her ride home? Because that's so stupid. Elena, you could have gotten a ride home probably by that witch who was
or Stefan.
Yeah,
call Stefan.
Stefan would have
he will run there and piggyback you back.
You don't have to save Damon's life in order for you to get a ride home, sweetie. I would have gone and ridden you home if it meant Damon was dying. Like in my head, it just didn't make any sense why she would want to save him. Damon literally last episode tried to kill your best friend. Like that happened last episode. And
he also just kidnapped you like 20 minutes ago.
Thank you. So like it's like, Elena, why are you trying to save? He's not a good person, like at all. Like literally after you save his life, he goes and kills another person. So like he's not a good person. Why are you trying to save him? Like, girl, I don't know what that is. I don't know what kind of, like, is that Stockholm syndrome? I don't know. But get it together. Like, either you hate Damon and you want him dead, or you're okay with him and you're okay with him attacking your friends. But you can't have both. You cannot have both.
You cannot have both. Hey, can we talk about the fact that Damon murders Bree while some shitty Duran Duran sound-alike plays in the background? And if that's not the most 2009 shit you've ever fucking heard...
Some of the music choices in this episode, wow, you guys. Like I'm gonna skip ahead again. Like when Damon, not Damon, when Stefan and Elena are talking afterwards, and then he tells her she was adopted, which we will come back to because I need to talk about that.
Buck wild point we need to address. Continue.
The background music is just like this really like high pitched like piano note playing, and then like it goes into more music. But I'm just like, wow, y'all really want to heighten the anxiety for me right now. Like, what kind of
I already have so much anxiety watching this show. Why do you need to make it worse? I just want to know.
I was like, wow, you're really heightening the anxiety, but you're also setting the mood, because this is not a good mood for Elena at all.
Elena's also super anxious.
Exactly.
She is just like anxiety piloting a skin suit. She's just like a mech, like a meat suit mech piloted by just a ball of anxiety and also teenage horniness, I think.
Oh god, yeah, there's a lot of that.
Stefan drops the plot point absolutely casually that Elena is adopted. She's not actually a Gilbert. She's just adopted.
Not only did he drop that bombshell, right? But he dropped that bombshell after saying, I stalked you for months and I was looking over you to see if you were Catherine. And I'm over here like, my dude? So first
okay. Let me frame this.
Yes.
Let's just build a timeline of events here. Jordan, do you want to get out the red string for our conspiracy board here?
Yeah,
I think we might need it.
I got it.
May 23rd, 2009. Stefan, for some just by absolute happenstance, is by the Wickery Bridge when Elena and her parents, go off it. First of all, where is Jeremy? Make that a point. I'm gonna pin that up here right next to, why is Stefan just there, man? Just chilling. The third point I want to pin up is How does Stefan not get there fast enough? You are a vampire. You have super speed, my dude.
And if I see literally the effects for their super speed, I'm like, who specializes on the special effects? Because I know it's 2009, I get it, but also the special effects.
It's very good motion blur. Can we just circle motion blur a few times on this conspiracy board? Because I do feel like we need it. The other thing, effectively, it's a very sweet moment, right? Where Stefan tells Elena that he got to the car. It was like too late, right? It was already submerged.
Yeah.
So he tried to rescue Elena's dad was still conscious, so he tried to rescue him, but Elena's dad was like, no, you need to, he's like underwater doing like hand motions, the hand jive. He's doing hand motions, Morris coding this shit to tell Stefan that he needs to rescue Elena first. So Stefan rescues Elena, brings her back up to arguably the coast or what the fuck ever, and then goes back down, but it's too late for the others, and everybody just thinks it was some weird divine intervention miracle that Elena got out in the first place. Then Stefan stalks her
just
for
straight up
months.
Stalks her. Just straight up stalks her for months. Elena, why are you still with this man?
He literally says, I watched you for months. He's like, when we met in the school, that wasn't the first time we met. I would be out of there and down the block. Give me a restraining order, sir. I am moving houses. You cannot enter here.
The fact that they try to frame it as this whole romantic moment, like, oh, I can reassure you, I believe you because I've stalked you for months. What the fuck?
I know the kind of person you are because I watched you through your bedroom window for literal 4 months.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why? And then he's like, not only that, but I have some information for you that I don't think you're prepared for, but I'm gonna tell it to you anyways, even though I just told you I stalked you for months. You are adopted.
Stefan has no sense of pacing.
Nope. No sense of pacing, no sense of like normal human like social interaction, like
he's
etiquette.
Like, do you want to get on this train of wild thoughts with me? Because we're about to go barreling down the tracks to a buck wild place that is gonna flip your entire world upside down. You ready for it, Elena? You're fucking adopted.
Whoa. Like, and then
bring everything together, put that red string around the conspiracy board, bring it all together. Elena isn't a Gilbert. Who is she?
Who the fuck is she?
Who the fuck is she?
Who the fuck are you, Elena? And I
Elena
love how,
doesn't even know.
I love how Jenna was never gonna tell her. Right?
okay, that's another fun point. Elena arrives home objectively like 3 days after she's disappeared. I guess.
Wait, before we even talk about this, number one, why did Jenna not call the police? Why did she not call the police at all? She literally comes home and gets mad at Elena. Elena has a cut on her forehead. The last time she talked to Elena was talking to her, then dropped her phone. And Jenna did not call the police, did not think, why would she abruptly end the conversation like that, even though it seemed like she was trying to talk to me? Maybe something bad happened. Maybe I should go look for her. No.
Also, never mentions that she found Elena's wrecked car. Until later, like next episode.
So you found her wrecked car.
Or you didn't even bother to like check with the police if they had found any wrecked cars or anything. Like, here's the thing, right? Elena and Caroline are childhood friends. You, Jenna, objectively know Sheriff Forbes. I almost called her Dr. Forbes. She's a doctor of my heart. But you know Sheriff Forbes. You probably have Sheriff Forbes' personal phone number because your ward is best friends with her daughter. You know, like, come on, send her a text like, hey, let me know if you found Elena's car.
There's even so many variations of what Jenna could have done. She could have called her friends and been like, hey, have you heard from Elena? Like, I haven't heard from her for like a day or so. And like the last time I talked to her, she like abruptly ended the call. No, Jenna does none of that. She just waits for her at home for her to come back.
If my curfew was at 10 p.m. on, say, a Wednesday night, and I was not home by 10:05, you best bet my mother would be calling all of my friends, including me. And if I picked up and then like hung up abruptly, you best bet she would call back immediately.
Exactly. No, not even that. Like for me, the reason that's so crazy is that literally like last year I went out and my phone had died on me. So I was like on my way home and my phone had died for me. I eventually got home and my mom was like, oh my gosh, I was so worried, sick, like I was about to call the cops. So like by the time I got home, because she was trying to contact me and like she couldn't get to me, right? Like that was when I was 20 years old. Elena, like, Jenna, what are you doing? That's bad parenting 101.
Jenna, I get you're the cool mom, but are you a cool mom in the way that like you give the kids a little alcohol sometimes? Or are you a cool mom in the way that you leave your house for weeks on end, like Miss Donovan does, just disappears?
Just not
Jenna,
there.
I have some questions about your parenting techniques.
But wait, can we also talk about how Brie just like gave Elena a whole bunch of alcohol? It was like, here's some alcohol, go ahead. Like didn't check her ID, like was like, all right, here's some. And then Elena, sorry. And then Elena, like later on in the episode, it's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Like I had some alcohol, my tolerance is super high, and I didn't wake up with a hangover. Like, Elena, are you okay?
It's because you're concussed, Elena.
But also, Elena, are you okay? Do you have some superpowers you haven't told us about? Because what? Makes no sense for any teenager to be like that unless they've drinking way too much alcohol. Unless Jenna's been like slipping her way too much alcohol, you know? That would make no sense. None whatsoever.
So when Elena arrives home, Jenna's like, hey, what the fuck? I trust you to be honest with me. Elena pulls out the trump card that she's gonna use for the rest of her goddamn life of, you never told me I was adopted. Uno reverse. Flip the tables, Jenna. You're in the hot seat now. And I just love the absolute just 180 that scene takes once Jenna's like, oh fuck. Oh shit.
Knows. Yeah.
Oh bitch.
You got real close to the mic there, huh?
Oh bitch.
Oh, that's so close, B.
I know. Don't worry, I'm starting my promising career in ASMR. Hi, welcome to Smooth Jazz Over the Bay with B.
This kind of makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I feel like I'm like inside of your room right now.
Oh, are you in my living room right now? That'd be wild. If it makes you feel any better, I did kind of tidy up today. It looks pretty nice.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. I also have my last note for this episode is just oh shit Rick with like 3 exclamation points. Can you remind me what happened at the end of the episode that made me really want to go like, oh shit Rick?
Yeah, Alaric, there's like a flashback there's a flashback to Alaric and is with him and his wife, and he walks in on Damon feeding on his wife. Whoa.
Oh shit! Oh yeah! Shit. And then there's that shot where his hand is really shaky and he just like slams it down on the bar top and nobody says a thing.
Nobody says anything. Wow.
Nobody says a damn thing.
I don't know if this would be a spoiler, so I'm not going to say what happens later on in the show. But the fact that this happened and then later on that other thing happened, it's like, wow, Larry really has some bad luck, huh? Yikes. Like, they just really don't care about his well-being at all, huh? Yikes.
It's so funny that you say that because I think I know the event you're referring to, and I will tell you, there's one more event in between these two that is also that same exact thing.
What?
It happens not once, not twice, but 3 times to Alaric Saltzman. Anyway, that's not gonna make any sense to anybody who hasn't watched TVD, but
if you have, you know exactly what we're talking about, and that's insane. They really were just like, fuck it, fuck Alaric lives, fuck it, don't care about
fuck Alaric lives. Anyway, I'm gonna dramatically turn to the next page in my notes now, because I took paper notes.
I
don't know why I took paper notes today. I was just maybe, like, I feel like writing in this notebook.
Yeah, maybe you were in the mood. You were in a little writing on paper mood.
Maybe I was like feeling my diary self, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I did just write it on a yellow legal pad, but same thing. Same concept.
Okay, episode 12 is called Unpleasantville. Here's a little...
I love this name.
Here's
just a little... thoroughly unpleasant. This town sucks, y'all. Hey, y'all, this town fucking unpleasant as hell, dude.
Alright, I'm gonna read the episode description that Netflix gives. Let's hope it's a good one.
Okay, cross our fingers.
Ben of the Mystic Girl comes to Bonnie's aid. Damon and Stefan takes Elena to a school dance with a 1950s theme. Alaric introduces himself to Damon. That's
it.
Yeah, I think that's
not bad.
That's pretty good. That's pretty much what
as
happened
far as
in the episode. That's like a nice little sprinkle of everything without giving anything away.
It's a really good sample plate. It's a really good appetizer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, my first note, because Stefan gives Elena like this chunk load of like different vervain things, right? Because I think she left her necklace, right? So I think this is
she left her necklace when she found out that Catherine thing, which rightly so.
Yeah.
Fucked up, my dude.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
So he gives her this little chunk of vervain stuff. It has like vervain, like leaves, necklaces, other stuff I don't remember.
Jewelry, like some bracelets.
Here's the
Stefan's been working really hard on his basket weaving skills along with his jewelry making. This vampire summer camp is fucking lit, dude.
But here's the thing, right? You have all this vervain just available to you because you've been growing it downstairs in like a cellar or whatever, right?
I guess, yeah.
Why haven't you given any at all to Caroline? Like, this just emphasizes my point even more. Like, the Caroline Damon storyline, I think it's over. It could come back. I don't know, whatever. For now, it's over. She's like doing her whole thing with Matt. But now that I know that he had all this vervain just stored up in a box, I'm now questioning everything Stefan has done up until this point with Caroline. When she was with Damon, when Damon was controlling her, he didn't think, oh, I have this entire box of vervain with not only just vervain, but vervain based jewelry, which I know that Caroline wouldn't mind.
That Etsy shop has to be popping.
Exactly.
That Etsy shop has got to be so prime.
You couldn't give away a little bit of Etsy shop stuff. You don't have to make a profit off of everything, okay, Stefan? You could have gave some away to Caroline, but you didn't.
Give her a coupon code at least. Goddamn, boy.
You didn't do any of that. You just let her be manipulated by Damon. Wow, I see you now. I see you for who you truly are. All right.
I don't. The thing that he kind of asterisk he gives with this jewelry is like, hey, I have reopened my Etsy shop. Hi, my name's Stefan Salvatore, very successful Etsy shop owner, and I have made you these vervain and vervain based products because there are new vampires in town. So I wonder if he was just like, all right, I told Damon to stop messing with her. Apparently that's enough. It's not 7. Spoiler alert. Maybe since we're the only vampires in town, it'll be okay. And then once he finds out they are not the only vampires in town, he's like, fuck, god damn it. Let me reopen my Etsy shop. Let me dust off these cobwebs.
And only give things to Elena again?
Well, he does say that she does eventually disperse it to like Jeremy and like she gives one to Caroline in...
Okay, I guess. I'm just saying this could have been a faster process. I understand your reasoning, even though it doesn't really make any sense, but you could have done a little bit better. That's all I'm saying.
There are 2 great lines at the top of this episode that I do want to look into. Number 1, Alaric, when he's looking at, he asks Jeremy for Jonathan Gilbert's journal, which Jeremy just kind of like hands out for funsies, I guess. Family heirloom be damned. Alaric mentions that it's like porn for a history teacher.
I totally missed that.
Hey, what kind of weird like history teacher cult do they go into that they can't jerk it to like normal person porn? Why do they have to be like, this is historically accurate? Like,
but also, who says this is like porn for a history teacher?
To a high schooler.
To a
student.
Some of the dialogue in this show is out of this world.
You ready for the next part that I think is one of my favorite lines of all of TVD?
Yep.
Elena gives Catherine a vervain necklace, which I think is kind of like... I think also Stefan knew that
Catherine, right?
Or Caroline, sorry. I think Stefan also kind of knew that if it came from any... If the necklace came from him, she probably wouldn't wear it because that'd be fucking weird. But if it came from Elena, that's fine. She says, "Oh, is this a lesbian friend necklace? Because we're freaky like that." Hey! I just want to thank not only... The writers of this episode are Barbie Klingman and Brian Young. I want to thank both of you, that B&B connection. I want to thank you guys for this line. I want to thank Candace King for her delivery of lesbian friend necklace because we're freaky like that, complete with a little shoulder wiggle. Love that. Just wanted to point those two lines out. Great lines.
You know what really made me snap out of reality? And it's just like a normal line. You know, casually, Bonnie says, "You just found out your boyfriend is a vampire." And it's not a wild line. It's not a crazy line. But the fact that I'm watching a show where someone casually just says, "You just found out your boyfriend is a vampire, a witch, I might have you," is insane.
It really just kind of like, you know, when you're like on a roller coaster and you're going along and you're like, this is fine, I'm going very fast, and if I did hit something now I would die. And then all of a sudden the roller coaster just like stops and you like whip your head forward and back and you're like, ah, shit, that whiplash. And it kind of like forcefully like throws you out of your body for a moment.
Yeah, that's exactly what that line did. I was like, wow, I really am sitting here watching the show and someone literally just uttered out of their mouths, "You just found out your boyfriend is a vampire." Like it's like not even like the most comedic or funny line. It's the most normal line, but it's just like, wow, we really are here, huh?
I love Bonnie's, I love now that she's kind of, I think she has the most information, I think, of anybody in TVD kind of right now. She's kind of the most powerful, but Weebin knew that.
Yeah.
She kind of has this, in this episode, she has this almost kind of like nihilistic streak to her, where she's like, it can't get fucking worse, you know? Her name at this point might as well be Bonnie. Well, guess it can't get worse. Bennett. That's it. She's just like, well, I mean, your boyfriend's already a vampire, so what the fuck else is gonna happen, sweetheart? Honestly, like, what's next?
Bonnie's like, you know what? I found out I was a witch. Then your boyfriend's brother tried to kill me, and then I had to learn that vampires are a thing. Like, literally, it literally cannot get worse than this.
Only up from here, folks.
Yeah.
I fell into a tomb underground. I can literally only go up from here. It's a decade dance. It's our very first decade dance.
Wow.
It is the 1950s, everybody. Let's give it up for the 1950s. McCarthyism and racism.
Honestly, that line was so good.
That line is so good. We'll mention it later, but that line is so good. Anyway, let's give it up for the rise of McCarthyism and the nuclear arms race.
Yay,
Stay and list.
Love those things.
If our sarcasm hasn't shined through, allow me to say it. Fuck all that.
Yeah, that's all shit right now. I hate it.
Garbage. We're going back to it, and it's garbage, folks. When Elena is getting ready for the dance, which she looks kind of 1950s. Stefan doesn't look 1950s-esque at all. But when she's getting ready for the dance...
just really quickly, just another example of women doing the most. Men doing...
Would like to just state that, yeah.
Men doing, like, literally nothing, and both getting praised for it. Continue.
The bare 1950s minimum. When Elena's getting ready, kind of like the vampire metal detector, the compass, is going wild on her bed. And the whole gag they do is that she can't hear it going wild because she's drying her hair, which I love.
It's so good. This scene is great. This scene is great. It's so good.
She's like, oh shit, oh fuck, like tries to call Stefan. He doesn't pick up the phone forever because he left it at home with Damon. So Damon picks up and he's like, yeah, what's up? And she's like, shit, where's Stefan? And Damon's like, oh, he's probably like right outside or whatever. He's just on his way to you. And she's like, all right, great. Camera pans over and a vampire, a rival evil vampire, is just up in the ceiling. Like, just casually, incredibly casually. Then she hangs up the phone and she's like, all right, fine, we're good. Whew, false alarm. Clock was just going crazy because, or the compass was just going nuts because Stefan was coming over.
He just fucking chomps down.
He just drops like a sack of moldy vampiric potatoes. And Stefan, unfortunately, does come to the rescue. So,
can I just
fights off the attacker.
Just a big thumbs up to that entire scene. I said it once, I'll say it again. The Vampire Diaries, sometimes it does not know what it's doing. It's the worst. But sometimes when they have those horror scenes, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like that scene, literally, like, it scared me. Like him.
It was like a corny horror movie kind of thing. I loved it a lot.
Like I literally wrote in my notes, I fucking hate this shit. That was so fucking scary. So like,
yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
it felt a little bit. Like, have you ever seen those Scream movies?
I've seen
the like
one.
Parody comedy horror ones. It felt a little bit like that before the punchline, where it's not like horror, you know, it's like horror light.
Yeah, which I enjoy. I can't do horror at all.
Yeah, same. Just like, you know, like it's horror light, and then like the punchline kind of kicks in where you're like, okay, yeah, she's fine, whatever. Stefan's actually there.
Yeah, but like
love that.
The anticipation, the build up, the suspense. You guys did a great job of that. I will give you that.
They do suspense very well. Love it. Big fan. Let me 1 second. I'm gonna flip back over to notes.
Oh yeah, Anna and Jeremy start hanging out more and start bonding, and it's very cute. And I'm like, I'm here for it. And I was like, why is he pushing her away? Like, I understand that she's like not over Vicky, but I'm like, don't push her away. She's cute.
Can we also talk about the most buck wild thing that I feel like we need to spend some time talking about here?
Yes.
Anna is the one who basically just tells Jeremy flat out that vampires exist. Hey, y'all, spoiler alert. Anna is a vampire.
And that is insane. I literally was like, I can't trust anyone in this show because I did not see that coming at all.
She's such a vampire theorist. And when you're watching it, right, when you're watching these 2 episodes with the knowledge that Anna is a vampire, also I just said vampire really weird. But when you're watching this with the like knowledge that she is a vampire, it's buck fucking wild that she brings out the receipts immediately. When Jeremy's like resistant to the idea of vampires, she's like, oh no, they're real. Like hey, what the fuck is your play here, Anna?
Like as a move, as to like as a plot twist move to like sneak it in there, that's good. But also, I get what you're saying. If I knew that Anna was a vampire and I'm rewatching this, I'm like, what? Why is she doing that?
Exactly. It makes no fucking sense. As like on the chessboard, right, that is the various evil plots and schemes going around. It makes no fucking sense.
It's like, why do you want to convince him so bad that it's the truth? Like do you want him to know who you are? Like, and the thing is, maybe it would make sense, you know, if she was trying to like reveal it to him slowly because she liked him and she wanted to like be with him, right? But she has a boyfriend. She's already so that doesn't even make sense as a theory. Like, maybe, okay, here's the thing. right? Maybe she's like her entire motive, right, is to get this journal from Jeremy so that she can do whatever she wants with it. I don't know what she wants to do with it.
She has an evil scheme,
So maybe her trying to like, she was trying to prolong their conversation and like increase their like friendship, right? And like trying to like do that as quick as possible. So maybe her thinking was like, if I like bring up this crazy scheme, even though he doesn't believe it, he'll just like joke around with me and be like, that's not true, and he won't believe it, but that's okay, because my entire goal here is to make him be friendly with me so he gives me this book. So I will like try to like foster some like quick bonding.
Speedrun friendship.
Exactly. And the way to do that is to be like bring in this crazy idea that no one would believe, even though it's true, so that we can like joke about how he doesn't think it's true. And we can have like this friendly like argument about it, but that's like bonding us together even more.
Here's my problem with Anna's speedrunning friendship strats. Jeremy would have been way more likely to share that journal with her first, I think, or even just like let her get a look at it, if she had like played with him in the space he was creating, right? If she would have been like, oh sure, like maybe it was a metaphor for the evils of the time, can I see the journal? Maybe like let's hash this out. If she would have gone with him, he would have been so into it, dude.
Yeah.
If she had just played with him in that space. He was making a playground for you with his words and metaphors. And all you had to do was go on the swing, sweetheart. You would have just...
It's just like... No, but the question is, right? No, it doesn't make sense that she bumped into him unintentionally without knowing...
No, that was absolutely intentional. I think every bit of it was intentional.
Because like if it was like unintentional and then she didn't know he had the journal, and then she figured out later and then had to like, oh shit, I made a mistake, I should have done it this way, right? But like she had to know, like at least he had access to the journal, right? So like that doesn't even make any sense. That theory doesn't even make any sense.
If she would have just played with him in that space.
Yeah. Wow. She's not making big brain moves at all.
She really did not galaxy brain that out. Shall we talk about this decade dance?
Yes.
Because first of all the ladies look real fucking good.
They are. Okay, I haven't talked about this yet in this episode, but Caroline.
Wow. Caroline.
Wow.
Love of my life.
Wow. Let's talk about Caroline, because throughout this entire episode...
Let's talk about her.
Throughout this entire episode, I was like, wow, Caroline's really growing on me, right? She seems like she's kind of developing a little, and I like this storyline with Matt so much better, because he's trying to... Like, they're trying to, like... I mean, I feel like it's more like he's trying to improve her a little bit, which is a nice twist, because it's not a girl, like, trying to help, like, improve a guy, which is nice, right? I like that storyline. Also, Caroline, I think her hair has grown out, and I'm like, wow, yes, grow out your hair, thank you. And then her 50s outfit, wow. Anyways, the women are really doing it this episode, but also Caroline, wow. That's it. That's my rant.
Just Caroline, man.
Wow.
She's just great. She's just awesome. Just love her a lot.
Caroline, we love you.
We love you, Caroline.
Candace can come on the show.
Decade dance. It's a whole dance, baby. We're having fun. We're having fun in this dancing space. Can we talk about the fact that Jenna got conned into chaperoning? Love that. She looks real cute.
She looks really cute.
Just wearing like a varsity jacket. I don't think that quite counts.
I think it kind of counts. If you think about was Greece set in the 50s?
Do we know both of our lack of knowledge of films is outstanding.
Even though you're a film major and I was almost a film minor? Nice. Yes. Okay. Greece is set in the 50s. I feel like you could definitely
just
argue.
go with like a leather jacket and a white t-shirt and you'd be good.
Yeah, but also I feel like in that movie there's a lot of caricatures, right, of people.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like Jock
you
is
know
one
what?
of those
You're fair.
caricatures, so you could argue that that's a good costume for the 50s.
Okay, sure. We're calling Alaric a dumb jock. Love him.
Yep.
My dumb jock son. Let me see here.
Oh wait, while we're talking about costumes, can we talk about the vampire that shows up in just a black hoodie?
Yes, I was just about to talk about that. His name is Noah, by the way. So we're going to call him Noah because that is his name, and so we don't get him confused. It's the vampire who Elena hit with her car, and the one that broke into her house.
And also kind of stalked her.
That too. Vampires just really like the stalking part of it, I guess.
Yeah. They like to stalk before they eat their prey.
Well, I mean, also, Stefan kind of explains that, though, in a way that I like. He's like, we're a predator. Like, the stalking is half the fun. The chase is part of the thrill, which I do kind of like, actually.
Yeah. Cool concept. But also, so he just shows up in this black hoodie, right? And, like, I get it. You weren't prepared to go to this 50s dance. But also, if you're gonna try to kill someone, try to be less obvious about it, okay? You gotta blend in
a little bit.
You gotta blend in.
Put the hood down.
Exactly.
You would be fine. Put the hood down.
It works for him later on because he gives it away, and that's how he's able to get the slip up on Elena. But other than that, bad sleuthing, my dude. Bad idea.
Bad stalking.
Yeah.
So like we said, right, she spots the guy with the hoodie walking out the gym doors or whatever and sends both the vampire brothers on to him. The hoodie kid, though, unfortunately is just a kid. So then while they're off chasing just a random kid, the vampire Noah is like, hey bitch, you're coming with me, and kind of like stalks her to another part of the school. The cool thing about this like scuffle and like fight that ensues is that Elena stabs him with a pencil. Honestly,
wow, her mind
is so powerful.
Like, imagine like getting your school supplies and being like, oh, I can use this as a fucking weapon. Like, wow,
this is an improvised weapon, I guess.
And then she also goes and breaks that broom with her knee, and it's like
so powerful.
I'm like, girl, what kind of workout are you doing? Well, I gotta be doing to do that.
Somebody get me into the Elena Gilbert Vampire Hunter CrossFit program, please.
Exactly. Like, wow. She really out here trying to kill those vampires. It's tough for Jamin, unfortunately, but I guess we gotta deal with that for now.
I just love this like scuffle, this fight that happens. Elena, for the first time, I think, in this series, she seems really in control of like her fate and everything. She seems really like, I know we're joking here, like so powerful, but like, yeah, bitch, you're finally fighting back.
Thank God for that too, because I'm really tired of this whole damsel in distress narrative that we're trying to pull right now.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I get that. Before we kind of go completely into what happens with this vampire, though, I do want to circle back around to one conversation that happens that I think is so fucking great. Is Elena says something like, wow, wasn't the 50s so fun? You had like color block sweaters and pompadour and like the hand jive. Stefan replies with the most Stefan reply. He's like, yeah, we also had McCarthyism, segregation, and the nuclear arms race.
Wow.
Elena hits him with the great 1-2 punch of, yeah, but there were poodle skirts.
Can I just say, that's literally every white woman's response when they're like, I was born in the wrong decade. I was supposed to be alive in the 50s. Bitch!
I was gonna say, I love that. I was also gonna say, that conversation is just us when Brian was here. He was like, yeah, but there were poodle skirts. We're like, yeah, but there was also McCarthyism and the nuclear arms race, Brian. Like,
it's like,
I just love that.
It's like, okay, I get it. The 50s aesthetic is nice, but let's not romanticize what actually went on in the 50s.
Which was, in case you've forgotten, a lot of bad shit, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Salvatore brothers eventually get back to where Elena is. Mm-hmm. She has effectively neutralized this vampire, which is super fucking great. Mm-hmm. Elena Gilbert, CrossFit me, baby. Let's go. I don't know what the verb version of CrossFit is, but let's do it, baby.
We also have this little side plot with Bonnie and Caroline, which I love. I love their little side plots when they get them. They're really cute.
They feel like they have such fun, like Scooby-Doo-esque hijinks, you know?
Yeah, they had that energy, totally. So, like, they're, like, both dealing with guys. Bonnie has this crush on this bartender, which, honestly, that's cute and all. But, dude, you're in high school. This is an adult. Why are we going out with children? Huh?
Hey, y'all. More questions. Why?
Why?
Just why?
What was the purpose? What, like, sure, you can crush on him all you want, but if you go up to him and ask him out and he says yes, I'm gonna start looking a little funny. I'm gonna be like, what?
Be like, hey, what the fuck?
What's going on here? And, like, I don't know, like, is it, like, she's a junior. He seems like maybe he just recently graduated and just started
seems
college.
Like maybe a freshman or sophomore in college, maybe something like that.
That could be maybe okay, but also it's a little sketchy. It's a little sketchy. I'm not gonna say
it's a little sketch.
It's not like outright wrong, you know. Yeah, like they could have maybe dated in college. I mean, sorry, in high school, and she would have been a freshman. He would have been a junior. I've seen that happen between a person before. It did not work out, but that could have happened, right? And that's okay.
Maybe it'll be different for you, honey. Just keep telling yourself that.
But little sketch that he's working at this bar. She just goes up to this bartender. It's like, do you want to go out to a bartender at a bar? And she's a child.
And I also want to mention, she's like, do you want to go to karaoke? Which is, hey, Bonnie, the worst first date idea of all time. Oh, and, like, if I had to rank it, scale of 1, a very bad first date, 2, a very good first date, that's very bad. Hey, y'all, that's real fucking bad. Okay, I get it. First dates should be like activities. You know what a great first date is? What? Mini golf. Ooh. Everybody's equally bad at mini golf. You can just laugh at yourselves for it. Also great first date idea.
Bowling,
also great first date idea. Karaoke, where there's actual skill involved? Get out of here.
I mean, is there actual skill involved in karaoke?
There is some, right? Some people can't hold a tune to save their lives, and I still love them dearly, but it's just bad.
But I feel like the point of karaoke is that no one is trying. And I feel like there's two types of people. There are people who are not trying, and we all understand that we're not trying. And then there are people who are really trying really hard, and they're the worst.
It's just a bad first date idea.
Yeah, I will agree. Not a great idea for a first date.
Just the worst.
But what can you expect from a high school junior? And she's asking out a bartender. Just saying. Just saying.
Just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
I have here written in my notes, and I do just want to kind of say this note in full. I have here, we learn eventually, once the Salvatore brothers kill Noah, who reveals that there's another way into the tomb or what the fuck ever, Anna is revealed that she is a vampire. Mm-hmm. So we still don't know her last name, though. Yeah. But already we know her first name and that she's a vampire. We know more about Anna than we did about Stefan for, like, the first, 3 or 4 episodes. So I do just want to point that out here. Other things I want to hit here before we end. Matt and Caroline are my children.
Oh,
they're my
so
precious
cute.
babies.
They're so adorable. Oh my god.
They're so cute. I know it won't last, and I'm okay with it, but God, I love it when it's happening. They're just cute.
They really are. You know, Caroline's becoming a better person. Their relationship is literally so adorable. I love them.
It's just cute. There's no other way to put it. They're just cute, man.
Yeah.
Anna is revealed to be dating Ben, who is also a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that group of three, Anna, Noah, and Ben, kind of had a galaxy brain scheme going on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of them got the memo that their scheme kind of sucked.
Yeah. They literally are just like manipulating both Bonnie and Jeremy and then just scaring Elena, and that's all they're doing. But also, like the scaring Elena part, I don't think that was a part of the plan, but that was stupid.
I don't think that was a part of a plan. I think that was just Noah being stupid.
Yeah, being an idiot, you know?
Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the episode.
Wait. What also got happened is that Alaric told Jenna that his husband
Bicon Alaric Saltzman.
His wife's name who died was Isabel, and then she was like, "Oh, interesting."
That's the same name as Elena's birth mother.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm like, is that a red herring? I feel like that's a red herring. That can't be true.
Okay. I honestly don't remember if it's true or not. I'm not gonna lie to you. So.
All right. So we both will find out.
So it's a new experience for all of us. Also, the way that they spell Isabel is so dumb.
How do they spell it?
You know how normal people spell Isabel, where it's like ISABLELLE or something like that?
Yeah.
The way they spell it is ISOBEL.
See, I would have given it to you if it was just ISABEL. Mm-hmm. I would have given that to you because that's another way that people spell it.
Yeah.
ISOBEL? Y'all really wilding out here. You're really wilding out here. You're just like, I don't give a fuck about how names are spelled at all. I'm gonna spell them the Karen way, and you can't stop me from doing that.
Give me the bingo card of white person names that they have used in the Vampire Diaries. Really? We gotta start this.
I will make it because there's so many. It's not even first names only. It's last names too. It's all of them. All of them are so white.
They're just so white.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not wrong. That's correct. It's not only the names, it's the people as well. It's very white up in here.
Yeah. Anyway, so what do you rank these episodes, Jordan? What do we rank episode 11, Bloodlines? What are we ranking it?
The road trip was not a fan of because Damon, as we all know. I didn't really hate him until he killed Brie. But like overall, Damon just annoys me as a person. So like anything he like that involves him automatically brings an episode down from where it was.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see what else happened. But I did like the focus on Bonnie. So they kind of even each other out. Damon annoying, but Bonnie good. Right?
Okay, yes.
What else happened? I feel like those were the only two things that happened, right? Am I wrong?
I mean, in this episode, let's see. I mean, it's the whole
road trip, and then
it's Bonnie's whole thing.
Blocked.
And then the very last part of it is Alaric recognizing Damon.
Oh, right. I will say this episode wasn't as good as the last one, so it's not going to be as high, but it also wasn't very bad. I feel like it was just a good episode overall. So I think because of that, I'm gonna give it like a 6.5 because 5 is like okay, right?
Yeah, 5's just middle of the road.
So it was very middle of the road, but because it included Bonnie and we got to like learn a lot about her being witch block and her exploring that and like her.
Oh yeah, she got witch blocked.
Yeah, like the whole
like a cock block that you do to yourself. Witch blocked.
And like I think I enjoyed Bonnie this episode a lot, and also learning that Elena was adopted was a bombshell. So
oh yeah, wild plot twist to just kind of toss out there.
So like it was like okay, I was engaged, but it wasn't like god tier level, so I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Okay, that's valid. I honestly, I'm gonna give it a 4. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Mm-hmm. I'm ranking it pretty low because a lot of weird character things, a lot of weird pacing happens. I'm gonna rank it pretty low. It's just it. I just really don't love it a lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are you gonna go for episode 12, Unpleasantville?
Okay, we had the 50 cents. That was fun. Mm-hmm. The girls look great. Mm-hmm. We have Matt and Caroline. That was really cute. I love that. Mm-hmm. We have Elena fighting back for once. That was super cool. We had the whole suspense scene, which was with the werewolf, not the werewolf, the vampire on the ceiling. That was really good. Honestly, I can't really find anything about this episode I didn't really like, except for, the whole Anna conundrum, because that makes no sense now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I really kind of ruined that for you when I was like, yeah, she's a vampire who's heavily telling him that vampires exist.
But overall, I think this was like a good episode. They did a lot of things that were important, I guess.
You're right, correct.
And like also the whole like Alaric having the Remain, I saw that coming, but I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm. That was a nice touch.
Yeah, I think this is actually pretty high. I think this was a really good episode. I think I'm gonna give it a 7.
A 7, alrighty.
Yeah.
I am also gonna go that way. I really do like this episode. Beyond the fact that it's named Unpleasantville, which is just a great name.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of fun stuff about I love a good decade dance. Mm-hmm. I think we've established this so far with the football episode. I'm a sucker for a good high school cliche. Love that. Elena fighting back, so good and so powerful. Also, we get to learn more about the fact that Elena was adopted, which is just a buck wild plot point overall. You know what? I'm gonna go with you here. I'm gonna rank it a 7.5. Actually, I'm gonna go with an 8. I'm gonna go with an even 8. Yeah. I really like this episode.
Yeah, this is a good episode.
It moved the story forward in a lot of ways you didn't expect.
Yeah.
It kind of solidified some allegiances here,
And not only did it do that, it like had like a lot of good small moments too that necessarily didn't move the plot forward, but was just fun to watch.
Just like good moments. It was a lot of good character building, and I think in that way, kind of like the character building aspects and the way that it kind of moves the plot forward in just a wonderful kind of unexpected direction where you're like, oh shit, Anna's a vampire. She's been working with Ben and Noah, and like they're working towards opening that tomb too. Like, oh shit.
And then also it was all very well balanced. Like it didn't feel like anything was out of place.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually gonna give this one a 9. I know I just changed my ranking like 3 times, but you talked me up to a 9. You really pulled my arm here in making an episode. Making a good episode. Next week, we'll be back watching episode 13 and 14, Children of the Damned and Fool Me Once. Both some very mysterious episode names. I gotta say, I love those a lot.
Don't forget to enter our giveaway.
Yeah, this is the last day that you can on the day you're listening to this podcast, as long as you're listening to it on January 17th. Yeah. If you are too late to the giveaway, go follow us on Twitter anyway. We might just like give out some random stickers to our Twitter followers over the course of the next months. Yeah. Seriously, follow us on Twitter at Afterbite Pod, and if you use Apple Podcasts, leave us a review.
Yeah, even if you're listening to this like days after this this episode goes out and you're too late to enter the giveaway, but you still like our podcast, please leave us a review. It really does help us out. Leaving us a rating and a review really helps us out, just because it shows Apple that people are interested in our podcast and that they're enjoying it.
People are for some reason liking this weird, dumb comedy show that's only vaguely about the Vampire Diaries, and it's mostly about Elena CrossFit Gilbert. Anyway, that's our show for this week. Thank you for listening, and if you want to yell at us for some reason, just at Afterbite Pod on Twitter. Go for it, folks.
Or
just
use
go
the
wild.
hashtag Afterbite or Afterbite Pod, and we will also see those.
I track those. I just never remember to mention those. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna be fading out the last words that we say here, and the music's gonna be coming up here. And basically, we're just gonna say goodbye.
Bye.